pre-planned attack weeks in the making by a suspect intent on taking as many lives as possible. That's according to investigators who confirmed that 21-year-old gunman, Robert Crimo, fired around.
So as we start to learn more about the victims, state officials revealing all were killed inside of a single fourth-grade classroom at the Robb Elementary School. That is where Bill Malou.
Violence on the earth. Police is powerless. This weekend, you just witnessed again a stunning, I mean, it left me stunned, and I'm like, almost like, not that I've seen it all, but you almost like, it makes you numb. But this time we're like, oh man, again? Stunning breakdown of law and order, police overwhelmed, violent crimes on the rise. Every city, every major city, and I'm going to get into political things, but a lot of them are democratic cities, don't get me wrong. They have DAs, district attorneys that don't care. They'll just release anybody. If you did a crime, they don't care. They won't prosecute. Now, from Baltimore to LA to Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia, Atlanta, New York City, Texas, this is stunning. Let me read some of this. This is in Chicago. This is 2021 in Chicago. This is a partial list of what they call high priority emergency calls, where there was no police officer available, right? No police officer available. People made the call, 911, and no police officer was available for X, Y, Z reasons. Maybe they're too overbooked. Maybe there's too many crimes. Too many donuts. Well, I just think to, defund the police. I mean, we've been hearing about it all a couple of years, right? 14,955 assaults, no police available. 17,828 batteries in progress, no police. 16,350, a person with a gun, it was reported, no police. 5,210, a person with a knife, no police. 12,787, shots fired, right? They have an automated shot spotter, that type of thing in Chicago. This was actually people calling and saying, I hear shots. 12,787, no police available. 1,352, a person was shot, no police available. 887, a person was stabbed, no police available. 14,265, domestic battery, no police available, right? And this is just a partial list. This is only one city, Chicago. All the calls, not all the calls, right? But these were the calls where no police was available at all. So we've come a point in our society where you can't wait for the cops. I mean, we have stories here in California where cops have told people, we're not going to be here on time. There's nothing we can do. Yes, sir. Well, they'll get the police. Yeah. So I've heard, this is from off the record, police officers say, look, we're underfunded, undermanned, can't handle the violence in these places like Chicago. And guess what? They'll take a long time to get there. They'll take a report and they'll go back to the station. And that's all they do. Why? They're just outgunned, outmanned. And when you have politicians trying to sue them every time they do something, yeah, you can see why. But the murder rate, it's not even the worst in Chicago. New Orleans takes the cake. New Orleans has been absolutely out of control. And this weekend specifically, remember we had the Highland Park shooting. You know, that was brutal. That was brutal. I think it's what was it? 6 people have been reported killed so far. So far, 57 had been shot, and this was done by a man who dressed up as a woman and went and shot up people on the 4th of July. So, you know, again, you're talking about mental illness, you're talking about transsexualism and all that. You know, why aren't they talking about that? This man dressed up like a woman. He had a lot of issues. And he went and shot up the place, in a city, in a state that has the toughest gun laws. And yet he was able to get one. And you know that no matter what, evil people will always find a way to get guns. You know, so it's not an issue of guns, it's an issue of wickedness. Oh, for like at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Yeah, Frank?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, well, Frank said they knew the guy was dangerous.
Yeah, did nothing about it. And he was under 21. So in Philadelphia, again, New York City, Gary, Indiana, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sacramento, California, Kansas City, Missouri, Richmond, Virginia, Manassas, Virginia, Clinton, North Carolina, Halton City, Texas, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Halton City, Texas. Mullen, South Carolina, on and on, just this weekend alone. So what is going on in our nation? What has been unleashed to the degree that, okay, DAs are not doing their job, so people can just basically commit crimes and murder at any rate. They're not going to get prosecuted, right? But what else is happening? I mean, how's the deterioration of our country, spiritually speaking? Oh, yeah. It is. So what has been unleashed? Well, the less godly a society is, the more godless it becomes, the more not only anti-God, but anti-human it becomes. There's you can make a case out of all these things. You know, the SSRI, the drugs, the mental illness, you know, the high-end video games where they desensitize people into thinking it's just a video game. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine about, you know, what did they do with people before? They used to train them using video games in the military. To show them how to kill and desensitize them. Well, those kinds of video games, those kinds of video, and it's getting so much better with technology, are in your living room. Not necessarily yours, but in people's living room with video games. High-end video games now. Incredible graphic cards that mimic what they used to do in the military 10, 20 years ago, and it's now here.